Hey everyone, welcome to our sixth podcast. We have Ortiz and we have George Ceja. Welcome them. These are my bros. I'm very, very excited to get this kicked off. So thank you for coming on board.
No, appreciate you inviting us.
Thank you for coming and seeing us.
Appreciate it, man.
You bet.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. So, we're just going to get a little bit started. I'm going to get right into the freaking meat and potatoes of what we're going on. I wanted to learn a little bit of, I think to share with our audience a little bit about yourselves. We're going to cover just a few things, but I'm going to let you do the talking right out the gate. You could either start out by how we met initially, or you could start out with your mission and your relationship with George. So much great stuff. I mean, there's no way that we can cover your adventures and how we met and a bunch of things just in one podcast. So let's just make a pact today that you're going to come back and do a second and third round when it comes time.
Yeah, we're in.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you the floor, man. Go ahead.
Okay,
Ortiz.
so
Yeah.
first I would say just meeting you, sir. I met you 2018. I was actually just staffed to come out. I flew in just to support the event. Did not think it'd be something later on that actually be more. Actually, one of the key guys now. I was just an RO, 2018, and at that time, 2018, I was in that sniper background, and I watched you guys shoot. In that moment, I knew you were going to be the winning team. I told everybody awesome. That I bet some money on the side that you guys were going to win, and you did. So
that's good.
You helped me out.
I didn't know that one, but yeah, that's good.
So you guys came home with the W. So I definitely.
That was a really well orchestrated match. Like I said at the time, in 2018, I was just at the very, very beginning of my journey with Ray, and like I said, we took that match extremely seriously as a milestone, for the type of training that we were doing at the time. Which it's what I love about Ray is he pushes to the extremes, and for me it was a big thing, for me physically, for me mentally, it was an important match. Although we've shot in others. That was an important milestone for us because it was a turning point in my life. There was a lot of things that happened in 2018 for me. So, I think the cherry, if I had to think back, and if there's one thing that I think of off the top of my head where I said, hey man, just give me a positive for fucking 2018, it would have been that match.
I think we've talked about some stuff too. I think a little offline subject too is like adversity sometimes makes us the best out of us. Sometimes brings it out sometimes. So.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Hey, if I can, tell me a little bit about your history, man. I mean, tell me where you've been.
I've been all over.
I know you have, but it's again, we can't cover it all. But so, if there's got to be one segment, give me the 60-second, where you've been.
That's easy. The Army, almost 19 years come July. All over the States. Most of our time, actually, when I met Ceja, was actually in Germany. So actually, we're very fortunate to do the same duty station.
That's cool. 6
years there total. And then now, of course, I'm actually towards my end of my retirement time frame.
Sure.
Getting kind of processing out is kind of working towards recruiting command now, where it's a good position for myself to actually help young people and then also transition out in the Army.
That's cool. We're just going to say for the record, I personally appreciate your guys' service in a big way.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
If there's anything, that humbles me more, a lot of what I come out, that we do to support these is to support, your teammates, but to support you. And, that's the very least, from our perspective of what we can do from Microtech or even from a personal level is to be there with you guys, just to rub shoulders with you guys. It's a big honor for us. So thank you from the bottom of our heart for your service.
I think you guys brothers now, like you guys been around since day one. So, you need
that's
something,
no joke.
Snap, we'll go with you. Who we getting? You know what I mean? Let's go.
That's no joke. That's no joke. So cool. So George.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your turn, bro. Come on, tell me where you've been. I mean, even though you look like you're only in your lower 20s, which is awesome. Stay forever
31.
young. But I know you've done some things. But tell us, man. Tell us, brother, where you've been.
I would love to share my story on your podcast.
Please.
So, after high school, joined the Army, and that's where I met Gammy in Germany, and I had a deployment with him, and it was actually a great experience, and it's made me who I am today. So we've done a couple missions that are very memorable for me, and one of the biggest things that happened to me in my life that turned my whole life around was getting blown up. And so October 30th, 2011, we get intel that we're gonna go get this bomb maker that we've been chasing for a while. So we go to this village and we make a stop, and right before we get to this village, we kind of plan of attack to this village. And once we access of how we're going to get into this village, we start driving, and then bam, so what I remember, I'm gonna see if Gammy remembers what he remembers, but what I remember was like, it just turned dark, and it was like I got punched in the gut. All my wind was knocked out, and I just remember thinking like, oh man, this is gonna suck. Like, I just remember landing on my head, and I just remember like thinking like, oh man, like I'm done. And then like I thought I just closed my eyes, and then I opened them, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I start crawling. I have like 50 cal rounds, right, all over my body, and I'm just like looking around, and I start throwing them all over the place and stuff like that. And then our platoon sergeant, he's like, hey, stop, you're gonna trigger another bomb. And I was like, oh, like, okay, like I can't crawl back inside. I see my ankle's facing sideways. I'm bleeding, my face is all bleed up. So I'm just kind of there, and I'm kind of like, I can't do anything. I'm by the village. I can see the people running around. I have no cover. I was the lead gunner for the vehicle. And so I just kind of there, laying there. And I remember thinking like, this is it. Like, it's about to happen, And I just remember just being at a full, like, relax where, like, it's going to happen, So I take that moment and I start laughing, like just let it happen now. And then it didn't happen. Like, I was just kind of waiting for it. And then I see Gamaliel Ortiz coming up, and he's kind of assessing me of what was going on. And then they take me out. I start, messing with him, like, that's who we are.
Yeah.
And I think I slapped him, I think.
That's who we are. And, like, I remember, like, before I got in the helicopter, he was talking to me. The last thing he said to me was, "You're good, bro. You're going home now." And, like, to this day, it's something I remember, and I get emotional about when I hear that. It's like, I got to go home, and, like, that's the last person I talked to in my platoon before I went through this whole process of medically getting discharged and stuff. So it was one of those things that changed my life. A lot of people, it's like, oh, such bad luck, but it was just like, it's a blessing in disguise. Like, it made me appreciate everything to this day, what I've done. That was back in 2011, and it's 2022, and it's like, man, I get to appreciate you. When we met at the match, you like, your energy coming up to me, like, I didn't know who you were at the moment, but you came up to me like all excited, and you were like, George, like, let's take a picture, brother. Like, let's do something. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, like, that's what like made me come back to Snipers Unknown. It was just like,
that's cool.
Like, your energy, meeting people, being in the sniper community, being in, like, in the gun community, it was very, like, attracted to me. It's something that I missed and I wasn't getting. So, like, I appreciate everything you've done for us, for me. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been our honor. Really, it has been. And, but yeah, as you explained, not a lot of us have an opportunity. Maybe once or twice we escape the death. But I think, Ray and I have talked about it. What changes a man? We've often said it's usually a life-changing experience when you face that peril of, of the possibility of facing our mortality and stuff like that. We know it's coming.
Yes.
But, I could see that, during your experience, you had a certain amount of peace, and you had somebody awesome come into your life, which is amazing, lifelong, so those are the lifelong things, because I've often said it, when I've had a few of the podcasts or talking to people in general, because what does your heart desire,
Exactly.
Be on your deathbed or dream about it or think about it in a hard way, your heart will reveal where you need to be. And I think that's where you're at, George. Yes. I really do. And I could see that, and I could sense that. The first time I met you, it's like, holy shit, man, this fucking dude is awesome. I want to take a picture with him. If there's something, anything, just so you had a really good, solid energy. I mean, we have appreciated all the guys that we've met. Some of them they got their little quirks and things like that, but we met some great dudes. But I could definitely tell that there was a certain amount of, resonant energy that was coming from you. It was just like, it was really, not to be soft, but it was just pleasant and pleasing for that moment.
Right.
Just like, holy shit, dude, this is fucking good. You know,
Felt like a genuine, like, hey,
yeah, you're
thanks for
somebody I
being
want
here. And
to
the same here
interact
for you.
with. Yeah, so that makes that nice. That's a great story, dude. And
Appreciate it.
again,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate the service, and
Thank you.
I thank God that you're here. I do, because God
too.
was with you that day. Brought
That
you
was-
Gammy too, you know. So
That was a crazy day, man. It's
So on a brighter note, before I start fucking cutting onions over here, tell me something funny, you guys. I know you guys have gotten some fucking into
man.
some shit, maybe some stories.
got
I
one.
wish we could do them all, but tell me one. Let's share with the audience if you don't mind.
Yeah, I got one.
Share an experience that could fucking put a little laughter into this situation.
So I was actually his supervisor, NCO, for him. As from a young private for a couple of years. So I remember one time we were actually getting data for one of our guns, the Barrett. It was a new gun that was given to us. I'm like, hey, let's go out to get hard data. Let's shoot this. And we were there hours writing everything down.
Yeah.
About 50 meter increments. Looking good on paper. He's like, can I shoot him? Like, yeah, go ahead and keep shooting. Practice. He has the data and he's shooting. He's doing great. You know, we're out shooting pretty far, past 2K, 2000. We're getting that. He's reaching out. And I see him I'm sitting there and watching him. And next thing I know, him just, poof, and I look over and just confetti. He just ruined all our data. He put it, you know, next to the Barrett. You know, that you shooting next to that thing.
It vaporizes everything, bro.
Yeah, it was right next to him. He's like, God. And it's like, he's going to go,
Whoop.
he looks back at my, and he's just like, hey. I was
was
so
just
mad at him.
excited to shoot. I
He's
was
wasted
excited
so many
shooting.
hours of work, and I was just like, I guess we do it again.
We're gonna do it again.
You know, but
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
pretty
That's
pissed.
cool.
it's all right.
That's cool. So tell me a little bit about the organization Snipers Unknown. You know, it's you know, a match that of course we have taken seriously since day one. But tell us, you know, if you could articulate it from your perspective, why do you bother? Why do you do it?
Initially, like I said, I was brought in just to come in and help out, and just because my background as well, it was just two people, all the same backgrounds. I just volunteered. I wanted to be part of the organization, and throughout the year, it's been changing a lot. Even myself, who's like I said, my last real deployment was 2012, at least in the sniper role. So for me, and I don't. This is my opinion. It's like if you stop learning, that's not good. You know, I mean, I feel that I reach out to different entities like we talked about this year. Like,
Sure.
We want to bring in the law enforcement background. We want to bring in the Marine Corps, believe it or not. We've been Army heavy for a very long time.
Big time.
So now we got the Marine Corps folks coming in. We got the Army folks coming in. We got, you know, the SWAT. Like, everybody has their own piece of the pie.
We had a
as
fair
far as
amount of Marine Corps
experience.
guys this last
Shooting,
trip,
yes,
too. Yeah.
So
Shooting
RO
was
wise
great,
and
yeah.
staff wise, we're getting some Marine Corps coming in. now,
That's
too.
good. That's good.
So we want to be diverse in regards to the experience they may have and they can bring to the table.
That's awesome. That's awesome because I've really appreciated working with the staff out there. I mean, the guys are no bullshit. You know, their staff, they're safe. It's probably one of the best matches. Even just this last time, it kept moving a lot quicker. You know, the stages were good. The stages were amazing, by the way. Like I said, I mean, I've done this for no other reason just to support the club, support you guys, support our veterans, and also, you know, for me and Ray, it's a personal thing. But getting an opportunity to work with some of these guys, yeah. I mean, some of the guys get a little bit wonky with the refs. Like, hey, man, these fucking ROs know what they're doing, and you know they give you a lot of slack considering.
Yeah.
You know, but in the same sense, the rules are very simple and needed to be abided by.
We try to do big boy rules as much as possible.
Yeah. So
we don't try to game it.
It's not like anything else. Well, you know, you do one little cookie thing, you're fucking off the bench, you know, or off the table. But the guys just make it clear, hey, man, you know, if we could do this, you know, this is what I'm expecting. They're very clear, and I like it. You know, some guys can cut it, and some guys don't. But as far as for us, it's very, very obvious that, you know, these the ROs that you've had, at least for this last event, had their shit together in a big way. So thank you for that. You know, we'll continue to recognize those guys in a big way. So
they're good
the
guys.
staff but this last time at GTI, man, just the fucking level of energy that went into these stages, dude. I was like a fucking dog waiting to bite. It was just like, it was so exciting and it was so rewarding regardless of the outcome. You know, it was super exciting.
Y'all crushed it. I think.
Yeah.
And then when we announced like the who plays, you were just like, oh.
You know, we weren't thinking about it. It was just like everything is,
well.
you know, it's a personal challenge between Ray and I. And, you know, yes, did we make some fucking goofs? It's just like for once, you know, I was almost, don't get mad at me, Ray. But, you know, it wasn't all me this last round, you know, it just like, we just made a couple simple goofs on some things. And, but we had a great time, good communication. And like I said, it's as good as it gets for me. You know, I'm novice at best, but when it comes to these matches, you know, at least this level of match, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that do the 3-gun and stuff like that, which I enjoy. But the long range and the communication, it's the relationship I had mostly, again, with Ray. And then, of course, you and George and some of the guys. That's why we come back, man. We come back for you.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
cool. So anything else? I'd like to talk about just maybe something from a personal level. You know, probably one of the nicest thing I got is, you know, I know hundreds of people, stuff like that. I got a beautiful card from you and your family with your family on the cover, which I put on my tree, you know, but tell me about your family if you don't mind.
Oh,
you know,
doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have 3 kids. I was previously married before as well.
Sure.
You know, especially the military, divorces tend to happen every once in a while.
Yeah.
So I was married to high school sweetheart. Deployments, things like that kind of changed things. Me being gone, it changed people. I actually remarried. My wife's German.
Cool.
She's from Germany. And I think some of the hardest times of my life, even with him, when he came back, she picked him up at the hospital, took care of him.
Nice.
Like he's my adopted
Dude, that's
child.
awesome, man.
You know what I mean? And then
Okay.
she understood what we were doing and what
Yeah.
our mission was and what we were doing. So she accepted me for what I was, in regards to the mission that I was doing. So we've been together about 10 years now.
That's awesome.
So about 10 years. And now we're looking towards that transition, getting out in that civilian life.
Sure.
So it's gonna be a little different. I guess I have to bring down the curse words a little bit. But
We
my
fucking
family's doing
tried,
great.
bro. I get it, man. No, I
Family's
know.
doing great. You know what I mean? So look forward to something.
That's awesome. I look forward to meeting your family sometime. I really do.
We'll be back
That'd
through, man. We
nice,
plan
yeah.
to settle down, a little south here. So
That'd be nice. You're always welcome, brother.
we'll be back. Yeah.
All right, George, heartbreaking motherfucker. Tell me about you. Who's special in your life this week?
Honestly,
Don't say me, bro.
my mom, she's gone
Okay.
through it all. She's gone through it all. She was the first person I called after my incident happened, straight to tears.
Of course.
And I was laughing when I called her because that's who I am. I just
I know,
laugh. I'm
right?
laughing, smiling all the time. And my mom just put through my surgeries. Like, she was there through the rough times. Like,
Yeah.
she saw me through all that. So, like, I have to really give it up to my mom.
That's
Like,
awesome.
She's
That's
gone,
awesome.
seen it
God
all.
bless you, man. Yeah. That's a hard thing because especially coming from a parent, you know, I couldn't imagine. You know, I couldn't imagine my boys or couldn't imagine my daughter. You know, it's a hard thing.
Mhm.
It touches on the heart, you know. But that's awesome.
So that's my
awesome.
special lady.
Well, that's, you know what? Good for you, George. That's
Thank you.
awesome. That's beautiful. You know, we should simply, you know, covet our parents. You know, my folks kind of, it was an interesting dynamic for me, but you know, I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with my mom, and of course my dad. You know, had other plans, but yeah, anytime you could embrace your parents, I see a lot of kids today, you know, should embrace your folks if you have them. You know, so God bless you in there. You know, if they're still around. So
I
that's
mean, that's
good
the
stuff.
thing. Like, you know, based off his story, and you know, we never know. You know what I mean? Life's precious. You know, I've learned to appreciate a lot more.
Absolutely.
This man here, you know, I thought he was gone too. You know,
Yeah.
so we never know.
close, yeah.
And I think that people tend to take life for granted, regardless if it's good or bad. You're still alive, man. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
And as I've gotten a little bit older, that's the same thing for me. You know, we're not invincible to a certain
No.
degree. And, you know, I've had to, you know, do a lot of soul searching even for myself. You know, who do I want to be with? It's just like the same thing with these podcasts. You know, I want to be around people that, you know, I appreciate. You know, not just to make me feel good too, but people I appreciate, people I look up to. You know, because a lot of people are like, well, who do you look up to? Well, I look up to Ortiz and George, man, because they're freaking awesome dudes, you know? So it's just like, I want to be able to interact with people that share some same energies and some same visions and things like that. But, you know, unfortunately, I've only hit a couple areas in my life where I've had to, you know, in my own way, you know, it's for maybe another time to discuss, you know, that moment of truth where you're like, okay, this split second, I think I might be dead. And you might be thinking about, you know, what's the most important thing in your life at that point? You know, for me at Microtech, it's always been, you know, work, hard, you know, push. But, you know, it's changing for me, even at my age. I'm not too old, but, you know, some priorities. Doing just like what we're doing right here, right now. This means the world to me. Just having you here, you know, cooking the sauce and doing the things and, you know, and breaking some drinks and some stuff like that means the world to me. And I'm glad we're able to take that time And that's what I hope for, is I hope to spend the remainder of my years, cultivating the very few people that are within my circle. And I have very few, dude, very few. And but I think I have a pretty decent relationship, a growing relationship with you and George, and I hope to explore sooner. So that's where I'm at. That's my story. Hey, what are you drinking?
What are we? I think we're about
you guys
one bottle
chose.
down already.
Yeah, we're about a bottle down of the Jameson 18, which we
Yep.
know is a calling card, but it's easy to drink. We like that one. For me, I started, because we started making the sauce tonight, I started with a little bit of Fernet Cabernet Sauvignon, just a 2018. It was a good one. I could switch, but maybe after the podcast. We're going to eat an old Italian dish tonight. And
I'm
excited. Smells great.
Because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So what else, guys? What else you want to talk about tonight? Do you have any exceptional story that you might want to share?
I actually want to hear something, like I've heard most of your podcasts that are out right now. I want to hear something that a lot of people don't know about you. Like
a lot of people don't know. Something. And then we'll give you one.
Embarrassment or something. Yeah.
It could be embarrassing. It could be cool.
My God.
It could be learning. I don't.
I'll tell you what. Something I like. Let me see. First thing that comes to mind, I love butterflies, man. I love butterflies and dragonflies. I love the hummingbirds and I love the trees. So I get an opportunity to have a little bit of that, in my life here. That's why I live on this particular ranch, just because I'm a little bit more connected. I love the trees. I'm not a tree hugger, but I appreciate the nature side of things, and I'm starting to appreciate the skies and the celestial. I get lost looking into the universe. Anywhere I've ever traveled into the world, even though I've seen the most beautiful things, the sky is always different to me in such a big way. So that's a personal connection for me. It's just like today, just working in the house, getting some things prepped. A hummingbird came into the garage, and I was like, I'm standing there like a fucking idiot. Come. It didn't come to me, but I was hoping in my mind maybe it would. And it ended up leaving. But there's a softer side, I think, of Marfione that I've been connecting with and finding and stuff like that. So if that's one thing you need to know about me, there's a little bit of a softer side of things, that I appreciate.
I do notice there's more postings from you in regards to that, like flowers, some good pictures,
dude,
like art. I think that's something I've noticed in the last few years, just getting.
It's getting more. It doesn't have to be death, hell, and brimstone every fucking day of the week. And the same with microtech, even though that's my passion and that's what I do, that's my career. That's the part that I like. And for me, the same thing. Even though that for me, I think about it, it's like, what have I done in my lifetime? I've done 10 lifetimes, dude. It's like, now I think about where my heart really needs to be and what I really want to do. Yes, there's still a level of responsibility that I have to take place with microtech and the families that we are responsible for. But I get to pick and choose my battles going forward. But I've been able to actually really get in tune with myself, and I hope to do better. For the people that I love and the people around me, the people within my circle, I want to be able to serve. I want to be able to serve them the way I see. I don't know if that sounds kooky or weird or whatever, but I want to be able to spend more time. The time is, a commodity that we just can't get more of, and we don't know when it's up. So I want to be able to spend those moments, strategically, going forward. Like when all the COVID and all that shit happened, it's like, oh my God, is this how it ends? You can't say that people didn't think about that at one time or another. Changing things in the world, or just in general. You just had me rethink, and then a lot of experiences. I had an interesting childhood, which was short. Grew into manhood at a young age, but those are the things that I'm starting to really appreciate, is the culture and the history behind our country, or even Europe or whatever, interests me in a big way. The art. But like I said, most of the thing is I want to embrace the things I like and that I enjoy with the people I consider to be within my circle. So that's really about it. I don't have any other, fetish other than I love guns, and that's part of.
Amen.
Yeah, fucking yeah. 2A all the way. And, the knife thing is, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, Marfione must have a collection of knives. Yeah, I do. But, what do I collect, from that perspective is dead presidents and machine guns. That's my kung fu. And then, of course, sniper rifles, That's my passion. I love the guns, but man, I'll tell you what, calculating the math and finding targets, there's something about that. I can't explain it, but it is the most bit of adrenaline and the most high I've ever had. So that reward of hitting that steel or hitting that target and supporting my partner and stuff like that on the field, it's the gratuity for me. You know, I can't say I'm that great at 3-gun. I do okay. Mostly throwing my shotgun shells and everything around, and I do better on target, but the long range I excel. You know, and that's the thing. You know, at my age, could I be much better? I mean, it's like anything else that you put your time into, but I got to find that happy medium. You know, could I mean, if running 3-gun or running sniper matches was my full-time job, I could fucking assure you, you know, for even Ray and myself, because Ray's like, he's very humble. He's like, oh, I could never be as good as this guy. It's like, if that was
Ray's
your
a
first,
beast.
No,
Yeah.
Ray is a beast.
Yeah.
Beast. Like, share, and subscribe. X-Ring channel. Love you, Bo. But no, what I mean to say is if that's what we did for a living, you know, if that was our job, I could assure you we'd be the best at it. You know, so we got to find that dedication, find that time to excel. But doing the matches and everything else has a personal thing for us, you know, especially at this age. You know, my knees don't bend nearly as much, you know, and it's hard, a little harder, but, you know, that's how we push. But that's it, man. That's what you guys have on me, you know. So these are the things that I appreciate.
Well, for
that
your
I've grown
age,
to appreciate, yeah.
For your age and for the level of what you do outside of competitions, like, you guys kicked ass. We had a lot of young guys this year, right, at the competition, and you guys kicked ass this year or last year. So.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to give it a whirl again this year.
Experience, knowledge, you know, that's a huge thing.
Yeah, I've learned so much. I mean, you know, that was a neat thing when I started working, you know, a little bit with Ray and then meeting you. Everybody I've come to meet. I mean, everything I thought I knew about, you know, the application of a firearm, I had to throw it away. You know, I had to throw it away. And everything I knew about anything in long range shooting, I had to be humble enough to say, you know what, I know nothing. And all these guys to mold me, but can't think of anything else that I really enjoy. You know, and I hope we continue. I hope you guys continue to do these matches. I really do. You know,
that's the
I'll
plan,
shoot them as long as I can.
That's the
you
plan.
know, as long as my fucking knees and my hips allow me to do it. And I'm not old. I'm just saying. You know, I don't play that. Well, I'm old and my knees. No, it's just I just feel it a little bit more. You know, even my son is in his 30s. You know, and he studied martial arts for so long, my son Sean, and he would run and run and run, and he'd run in the snow, and he'd run. But you could wear these things out, man. You could wear them out. He got some injuries that prevented him. You know, you could break, I guess, over time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been a good ride. You know, I've had my ups and downs, but one thing is certain. I'm going to raise my glass to you and George. Thank you. I appreciate your friendship.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Cheers. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you, brother.
Tactical Jesus, bro.
You need to grow that shit back on that.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. Anyway.
What gun do you have right there?
Oh, well, let me tell you. So, you know, I do try to feature. I'm going to go ahead for the camera. Clear. You know, we shot a bunch of matches, but we had an opportunity to shoot the Snipers Unknown in 2018. And, you know, we studied, I got to say, for anything for me, because I wanted to, you know, there was a lot of reasonings behind shooting that match. But I'd say between 2016, you know, if you want to know something about me, in 2016, I thought I had a heart attack. I ended up in the hospital. Not even my kids know this. My son Tony and Sean knew, but the younger kids didn't. It was at the previous house that I was living at the time, and I don't know if it was stress or whatever else, but I really, man, it just fucking my chest tightened up. I ended up in Missions Hospital for a fucking half a week doing stress tests and everything else. And they had determined, they're like, well, whatever this was from, we could assure you that it wasn't your heart doing it. But, you know, if you want to hear it without getting, you know, upset, you're overweight. You're stressed out, and we highly suggest you do some life-changing activities, because they tested everything. It was the scariest time of my life. I mean, you go into the hospital and saying you're having chest pains, you know, at you know, 48 years old or whatever it was, it's no pass, go, don't collect $200. They take it very seriously. So that was a cue for me. because all my life, it's not that I neglected, but I worked all the time. We didn't eat poorly. My wife always cooked good. We always cook with the kids, but it was just a life-changing thing. So getting into the 3-gun, Susan and my daughter Sid was doing CrossFit and doing Spartan races. I tried to get into the CrossFit thing. It's not that I didn't do it. I didn't care for it. I'd go to these things, I'd meet good guys, but I didn't have the same energy, dude. I'd meet some of these musclehead dudes that would kind of like look you up and down and be like, yeah, man, I got you, I bet we probably couldn't roll on the mat, unless whatever. But you know what I mean? I couldn't get into the Spartan races. I didn't want to do it. I don't want to do the CrossFit. So the outlet of 3-gun and getting into these matches really kind of changed my perspective on fitness and, getting my mind right. So there was a little bit more to the background of how I got into this type of competitive shooting. But this match, even though every match, like I told you before, was training for this match. Because we'd go out west, we'd shoot, that was training for this match. We'd run, we'd train, we'd go to a DMR match, it was training for this match. So I got to say that, everything that Ray and I did, even the last time we shot in, South Carolina, wherever we were at, we ended up getting the chiggers all over our bodies, everything else. But we trained so hard. Because we didn't know what to expect. It's just like, Ray's a good motivator. I don't know anybody else who trains as decisively, but was able to push to the limits. And like I said, apparently we did well. But yes, this is one of the prizes off the prize table, which blew me away. Because again, we don't go to the matches for the prizes. You know this. We go there for you. We go there for our teams. We go there for the men next to us and women, whoever else. But yes, this is one very special piece in my collection that was a build. But check it out, man. It's scoped off with the Elka Spectre. It's my choice for that type of rifle. But yeah, what a good match. I remember shooting out of a boat, man.
Yeah.
In the water.
That's the one I remember the most in regards to the rocking, and then some people did well.
That was good. Yeah. That was fun. A lot of very creative ways to get you thinking about shooting, for sure. And then the pistol work and everything else. But that was one of the prizes of the many prizes. We had a matching Glocks, all kinds of gear. Yep. I remember when they called us, I couldn't believe it. I knew. I felt it. I was like, fuck. And then we walk up to the table. It's like, okay, we get to pick something. They're like, no, dude, this is your table. I'm like, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. And that piece, I haven't shot it because I want to preserve it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I think I've seen Ray do some videos. He was actually
he shot his rifle with it.
Yeah,
he did. He shot a couple 3-gun, and it's not that I don't want to. It's just for me, it's a special trophy for me. Because it was a special time. That piece out of the centerpiece of my competition gear and collection, it's special to me. There's a lot of fucking blood and iron and grit went into, even though I didn't expect it, but it was the most work I ever did up to that point, and that's kind of where we're at right now because we want to again shoot the match this year. Even though it's at Clinton House, which is our home field.
Yeah, that's where we're going back to it all.
Yeah, we're going back, and I could assure you right now, I'm getting my mindset as good as I can. There's going to be some great competitors this year, but I'm going to train as hard as I can for this year.
Look forward to having you guys back out there, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Well, cool. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on board.
No problem.
Again, having you as my guest. You guys are awesome. I love you both, and God bless you, and let's go eat.
I'm hungry.
Everybody.
The whole house smells.
Yeah, the house smells good.
Everybody's
Yeah. So this kind of concludes our 6th podcast. This is something I've been anticipating for a while. Not so much of the podcast, but having my friends in my home. So thank you and welcome.
Appreciate you having us.
Take care.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for some cool shit. All right.